Hello, Internet, and welcome to another episode of Doskvol's Dead here on Game Nights. I'm your host and your game master, Savvy, and we're here to play Blades in the Dark. Me and my friends. Well, most of my friends. Some of them aren't here today, but that's okay. They'll be back. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Glad to be back. We did the first episode of this a couple weeks ago and then had to take a couple weeks off because I was sick and then my keyboard was broken. But now we're back and it's great. And we're going to do a great professional job today. Before we get started, what else do we have going on the channel this week? It's Sunday, which means tomorrow is the premiere of our new show. You can join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Monday. If you're watching this sometime that's not today, I guess. That'll be Monday, April 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're starting a new Dungeons and Dragons campaign. We're playing in Strixhaven. I'm running it. And some of our wonderful friends, both new and old, are going to be there with us. So come hang out tomorrow night. And then after that, what's this Tuesday? Masks?
It should be. We won't have LB, unfortunately, so we will try and soldier on without her running the stream, so that'll be interesting.
We'll see.
I'll be at the beach.
Yeah.
We will tweet for sure about what's happening. Something will be happening on Tuesday. Probably masks with the Squire Squad, but if not, something else. We'll see. But join us then anyway, because it's whatever it is, it's bound to be good. It always is. And then for the rest of this week coming up, our schedule is going to be a little wonky because some of us are going to be missing or traveling or have people traveling to us. So we will not have streams Thursday or Friday or Saturday, but we might be back around on Sunday. So just keep an eye out on our Twitter for that. We'll let everybody know what's going on. You can also join our Discord as well. We post all of our announcements there and we talk about all of our shows and games and stuff like that. So do all that. It's fun. You won't regret it. I'm going to let my wonderful cast here introduce themselves, tell you who they are and what they've got going on, where you can find them on the internet, and who they're playing today, starting with Alex.
Hello, it's me, Alex. I'm some guy on the internets, mostly here, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays and Sundays. And then Sunday night, you'll see myself along with most everyone here over on LB Hackamup's channel doing the Masks game over there. But for today's game, I am playing Logan, aka Spice, who is the leech. The leech.
Excellent. Next up is LB.
Hi, I'm LV Hackamup. You can find me at LV Hackamup on the Twitters and the Twitches. I am going to be on that stream with Alex and Savannah doing our Masks game after this. But tonight I'm playing Jemma, aka Volpe, and she is, I didn't even look, I'm the talker.
She's the slide.
Yeah, I'm the slide. I'm super slidey.
Listen, we just started this game. Everybody's going to cut us some slack because I said so. Or else I'll find you or something. I'll tweet mean things at you. That's what I'll do. And yeah, last up today is Val.
Hi, I'm Val. You can find me with the Kraken's Crown here pretty much exclusively and theoretically on Twitter. I'm the one that wasn't invited to play Masks, so I'm here to I'm starting my competition stream. It's my rival stream to that one. It's called Bandanas. It's gonna be here. We're playing teenage
Cowboys.
Wasteland.
Now I want to see cowboy superheroes.
Yeah. Cowboy superheroes. That's gonna be.
It's just a stream where Val plays Red Dead.
Yeah.
While we play Masks.
It's gonna be tonight at whatever time they're streaming until whatever time they stop. But no, I'm here Thursdays through Mondays playing and running games, mostly playing these days. There's been a lot of fun. I run a game called Saturday Night Star Power, which we had a session of yesterday in a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure inspired universe every other Saturday. And on Fridays, coming up starting in May, I'm going to be running a game called Neon Gods, which is going to be a Good Society hack where we're going to be playing a game inspired by The Wicked and the Divine graphic novels. I would recommend checking those out. A lot of fun. It's be heavily inspired by, but not set in the same world, so no spoilers or anything there. But tonight I will be playing Bron, who is the Hound, aka Omen. Sorry, I forgot the alias.
The aliases that you also painstakingly came up with that I keep forgetting that you have.
Honestly, I like my alias better than my name, so I'm gonna just start introducing my character like that. Omen.
Okay.
So cool.
That's fine. Whatever you want to.
That's me. I'm done.
And I'm Savvy. I'm your GM. You can find me on Twitter, Savvy Seaworth. I'm here all the time, and sometimes on LB's channel on Sunday nights, and occasionally other times when I'm not falling down the stairs, which did happen to me this week. Guys, listen, it's been a rough couple of weeks, but we're back and we're better than ever.
The theme song in our house is Yakety Sax.
That's mean. Listen, I'm working on it. So yeah, we're gonna play some Blades in the Dark today. I didn't do a formal recap because I didn't. Because last time we did some intro to the game, answered the last of our sort of setup questions, got some reputation going, some relationships with some different factions that have not come into play yet because it's only been one session, but they will. And then you all did a lot of preparation for your first job to, I would say, varying levels of success. Some of you more successful than others. Your very successful friend is not here today, so you're going to have to soldier on without Barbara. Sid will be back with us next week. But so yeah, we started doing much planning for the first assassination of Bon Voyage, and boy did I forget that was your group name until I had to say it out loud. Yeah, so it was a few days before Moontide, the celebration that happens at the last day of every month. Here in Doskvol, you were given a job by one of the lower tier handlers of the greater assassin organization that you work with, the Shade. Their name was Cross. They had kind of an attitude with you. But yeah, you all ran around the city trying to do some recon. Bron sort of successful in getting accosted in an alleyway by some members of one of the gangs. Jemma getting made by a member of the Red Sashes at a bar. Logan staying on the boat for the most part, doing some science. And Barbara, using some contacts at a dive bar that she performs at to gather some information about the target of your assassination, a man named Rorik, who is the current leader of one of the gangs of this town, the Crows. So we're going to pick back up sort of at the end of the preparation phase. Everybody had sort of one more thing that they were going to do, and then it's going to be job time. So if I remember correctly, Bron and Barbara had set out for the park, which I will have to find the name of in my notes. But the park where most events are held here in Doskvol, to sort of scout that out and figure out what the setup was going to be for the Moontide celebration, where your job is most likely going to go down. Jemma was deciding whether to take the Red Sash up on their offer and go meet with them at Triss's tattoo shop. on Ink Row, and Logan was deciding how reckless he was going to be in this preparation phase. So we'll pick up there. Is anybody raring to go first?
Me.
Okay. We'll start with Jemma. What is this last bit of preparation that Jemma's going to do?
Sorry. Jemma is gonna go to the tattoo shop.
Okay. All right. So you head down. So the tattoo shop is. Oh, I didn't give it a name. Shame on me.
I thought you did.
Yeah.
I think. Oh no.
If I
you
did,
just
I
said
didn't
the
write it
tattoo
down.
shop. Yeah.
The
No, it
owner
doesn't
has a
look
name.
like it.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, Triss is the owner.
We can come. It can be called Triss's Tattoos,
All
or
right.
something. You head down to the tattoo shop. It's not far. Ink Row is a street in the Docks district, so it's sort of behind a bunch of the storefronts. It consists of a variety of tattoo shops and also print shops. It is where some of the lower tier like newspapers and publications and stuff go out as well. A lot of the shop owners sort of get together and buy all of their ink in bulk, so all of their shops are very near each other, so the deliveries don't have to go very far. It's just a fun little community that you have sort of behind all of these taverns and everything that are out on the forefront of the Docks. So you take the invitation you were given and head down to Trisha's shop. It's not far. You can walk if you like, or you can take a carriage down there should you choose. But either way, you make your way down an alley and into one of the back streets to the start of Ink Row. It's a lot of sort of low combination kind of brick and wood buildings, things that have been cobbled together, repaired over the years, sort of over and over again. So a motley crew back here. But you open the door into the shop. The air is a little bit hazy inside Triss's tattoo shop. It's a relatively small area, sort of out front. There are a few like stools that have been pushed up against the front wall by the door where people could sit and wait, and all sort of plastered around the walls are these sort of rolling at the edges pieces of parchment and paper and scraps, and there are drawings and paintings, and it's just plastered with all sorts of art and things. And you see sort of through the little bit of smoke haze toward the back of the room, there's a big chair that is sort of surrounded by several lanterns kind of hanging at different heights. There's somebody sitting in the chair, and you see sort of sitting on a stool next to them working on a tattoo, a woman. She is kind of small, pretty small framed, lithe but muscular. Not a whole lot of meat on her bones. She's got bright red hair that's like pulled back in a ponytail, and just a ton of freckles. And she sort of looks over to you very briefly and kind of calls out, "You have an appointment?"
I was told to come by for a job interview.
Oh. All right, wait there. Give me a moment. She says something to her customer, gets up and walks sort of to the back of the shop. You see her kind of stick her head through the door. There's a brief exchange, and then she looks at you and says, "All right, thank you."
Jemma will nod and sort of take stock of all of the exits before heading back.
There is one, and it is the one you came in.
Any windows?
On the front of the shop, there is like a
Okay.
one kind of shop window.
Okay. Yep. Going back.
All right. You head back. You walk past Triss. She kind of looks you up and down. Don't get any blood on the floor.
Right.
and she heads back to her stool and continues the tattoo she was working on.
Okay. Jemma will take a look around as she makes her way to the back.
Okay. Yeah, you take a look around. Again, it's not a very big building. There's just a ton of stuff on the walls. There's a counter with like a cash box tucked underneath it where people obviously pay for their tattoos. My Spotify stopped in my ears. There we go. It was suddenly very quiet and I got stressed. But yeah, you head back through this door into a small kind of back room. It almost looks like a lounge area. There's some sort of cobbled together furniture. There's like a thin sort of worn like sofa on the back wall, and a couple of oil lanterns kind of hanging around. And you see sitting on the sofa, sort of up on the arm, is the woman that you spoke to in the bar before. I don't remember if she told you her name or not. Do you remember? No? I didn't think so. But you recognize her. She is wearing sort of the same nicer clothes that she was wearing, the red sash tied around her waist. Her also sort of darker red hair pulled back in a braid. And then sitting next to her, like on the actual couch itself, are two other people. They have most of their face covered by sort of red like bandanas or like cloths that are tied around the bottom half of their face. You can only see their eyes. They're dressed similarly to her, not as nice, but like breeches, a coat. And they all have swords on their hips of varying lengths. But the woman who is sort of leaning back against the wall looks at you and says, you showed. I'm shocked.
Questioning whether I should have, but what kind of interview is this exactly?
I thought you were looking for a job.
Well, I was looking to do work, yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of work are you into?
All kinds. Shut the door.
Shutting the door, but standing right there. Not moving into the room.
Okay. You look nervous.
Just cautious.
Right. Would you like something to drink?
I think I'm all right.
Careful. An okay eye for danger. I wouldn't have shut the door if I was in your place, but I'm not here to tell you how to do your job. So, what sort of work do you really do then?
A bit of everything. Suppose it depends on what where the coin is.
Right. And you find the coin in killing more often than not?
Some people need it, some people don't. It's not my place.
You work alone?
On occasion.
You work alone now?
Depends on what I'm doing. I've no loyalties, if that's what she's talking about.
She kind of squints at you like she doesn't believe you. She's not going to push it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you don't know who I am.
Pretty face.
It's a good place to start. My name's Mylera.
Nice to meet you.
And you're the first woman I've ever picked up in a bar who doesn't recognize me.
Not from around here.
I can tell. She kind of points to her also very red hair.
A lot of redheads here.
A lot of redheads in this. All the redheads in Doskvol are in this one building for some reason. They all ended up here. Yeah, she kind of points to her hair. A bit of a kindred spirit. Plus red's my favorite color.
It's a good color. Looks good on ya.
What's your name?
Did I not give her my name before?
You did.
Did I give her my name? I don't remember.
I think so.
Okay. Jemma.
Same name twice in a row. So you're not too much of a liar.
Since birth.
Jemma.
So, Jemma.
You strike me as the type that once you're on a job, you see it through to the end, no matter what.
It's good for business, ain't it?
Word on the street is someone is out to get one of my... I hesitate to call him a contemporary, but you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Someone in your crew?
Oh, not in my crew, in my enviable position. Man named Rorik Haig.
I see. Hard man to find out, Rorik.
So you know him?
Heard of him, yeah. Never seen him. Don't live on that side of town.
Most people with our kind of taste don't.
And, if I might ask, what of it?
I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
And if I did? Think that would be a very good thing for you, huh?
It would. Rorik being out of the picture. Make quite a difference in my, my work life, at least. The crow's in disarray. Looking for someone to pick up the pieces. Do you know what I mean?
Sounds like a pretty good spot for you.
So, if the word on the street is true, and if someone is gunning for Rorik, I want to be involved.
I think that'd be a very good idea. And if I knew something about it, what would you be willing to offer them?
I can offer all sorts of things. Money, booze, men, women, both, neither.
How about information? Here, tell on the street of Rorik is a hard person to get close to.
It's not that he's hard to get close to, it's that he's hard to get alone.
That's fair. Not necessary that he has to be alone. Be easier though, if someone were trying to take him out.
If they were. So tell you what, Jemma. You tell me what information you need about our mutual friend, Rorik. In return for that information, I'll give you a sash. You make sure that if some tragedy were to befall the man, that sash is found in his vicinity.
Savvy, would that be okay with the guild to like frame someone else for it? Not frame, but like have someone else take credit for our kill? I feel like for us that'd be very good, but
I don't know that they would be. I don't think they would be pleased. But I don't know that it is like I don't know that like first time out it would necessarily be like a punishable offense as long as the job gets done and everybody gets paid like they're supposed to.
Yeah.
If that were to become a pattern or it were to get back to them like who had done it, they would probably be like, we have, you know, people are supposed to have loyalties. And
Right.
if they were to find out you're working for someone else, they might not necessarily be the most pleased.
Okay. I can swing that. That's fine.
It's a gamble, but it's
yeah.
not, they're not going to murder you outright.
Right. I'm just thinking that it would be good to, I mean, maybe shift the blame onto, I mean, Jemma could she could swing it. Okay. I think that's something that we could do, but I just want to make sure you understand that I'm not joining any sort of club by doing that.
I don't remember inviting you.
Just making sure we're clear, love. Yeah, I think that will work really well. So, Jemma is going to walk away from the door and take a seat. I hear Rorik's into some fancy lads.
Yeah, he's got a type, that's for sure. Who can blame him? They're all quite nice looking. Expensive though.
Well, he like a service in general or more specific?
No services necessarily, just sort of finds them along the way. He knows a lot of people, a lot of wealthy folk. Find a lot of them are aristocrats' sons, that kind of thing, looking to pretend like they're in a bit of danger.
Oh, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Might be able to finesse that. Any other vices?
Gambles a bit. His main vice is himself.
Most men fall in that category. Easy to exploit.
Extremely.
Well, I think might need to do a little research and maybe chat with you again before we get into it. I mean, I don't want to come with you, you know, without all the information I need for you to, you know, give me a little bit now, a little bit later. Would I be able to contact you again?
Ooh, I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea.
Why not?
Well, I can't be seen in back alleys all the time, conversing with every assassin that comes my way. I think I won't do my own work.
That's fair. Could look like someone else. Maybe a different type. Someone you might call on your personal time.
I'm gonna have you roll
Okie dokie.
4 days.
I swear?
Yeah, I think that's a sway.
Alright. Is this risky? Controlled? They're mostly risky, right?
Yeah, I would say this is risky.
Okay. And standard effect?
Yeah.
It's a 6.
Okay. That is a success. She thinks about it for a second, kind of looks you up and down. All right. She reaches into her pocket and pulls out a like a card about the size of a business card. Hands it over to you. It's sort of an off-white, like thick pressed paper. And it doesn't have any words on it, but on either side, sort of going from one corner to the other, is sort of a long, like red paint mark. That is good for one, and only one, meeting with me. Give it to Triss. She knows where to find me.
Right. Well, it'll be before the end of the month. Do you have any what am I looking for? Suggestions? No. Any specific ways you would like me to dress for this occasion?
I trust your judgment.
What?
Well, pleasure meeting with you, Jemma. And maybe I'll see you again.
I hope so.
She sort of just flicks her fingers, and the other two sashes that are sitting on the couch get up. They kind of nod to you briefly, and one of them opens the door. The three of them exit the back room of the shop, shutting the door behind them.
A powerful woman. Jemma will return to the boat, making sure that she's not followed, because boy is she paranoid about
Okay.
everything.
Let's have her roll for that too. What do we have on here?
Prowl?
Is that a prowl? It's prowl. Prowl about unseen.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is this a you're gonna sneak around to make sure you aren't seen, or is this a you're gonna keep an eye out to see if anyone's following you?
Probably keep an eye out.
So that's probably, I don't know, survey maybe?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure, why
All
not?
right.
Damn.
That's a 6.
That's a critical.
That's a double 6. Do I notice anyone?
Well, you wouldn't have. You make it almost all the way back to the boat. You're kind of making your way down past some
Downtown.
of the ships, making your way downtown. Walking, probably not too fast because you don't want to seem suspicious. You make your way, and you're almost back to the boat. When in the sort of grime and everything of the city kind of makes everything very gray and brown. And so just out of the corner of your eye, as you're making your way down, on top of one of these sort of low brick buildings, like the front office of like one of these warehouses, you just catch sort of the edge of like a red piece of fabric that's like dangling over one of the edges.
Okay. Jemma is going to. This was at night, right? 7 o'clock
Yes.
on the docks. So Jemma is going to stop in to. She's gonna make a night of it, and she's gonna stop into a bar and have dinner and like spend enough time in there that hopefully whoever's trailing her isn't going to continue. But she would rather not someone know exactly where she lives.
Yeah, okay. So you take your time getting back, and by the time you sort of leave after eating and everything, whatever was on top of the building is no longer there.
Okay. All right. And then make my way home.
All right, you make your way back to the boat. All right. Who wants to head out next?
I can go.
Okay. What's Logan gonna get up to?
So last time he had asked Omen for the locations of gambling dens, and is going to try and deduce based on that, like, okay, what's probably in what's the neighborhood, Crow's Foot, and is going to go under the guise of being like, hey, I'm a business person. I'm looking for some money to help back a venture, but trying to figure out how to get in the door first, because presumably it's got to be a password sort of deal.
Probably.
But let's, okay, I think I know. So is
Okay.
going to go and find a place. I don't know if I need to roll to try and figure out which gambling den to go to, or
I think it's easy enough to kind of parse where they're at in Crowsfoot. I don't. While they do keep track of sort of who goes in and out, since it's in their own neighborhood, I don't think the Crows necessarily try to like hide their locations. I think it's more just like they all have bouncers and are sort of keeping a close eye on who comes and goes.
no. And so, Logan is going to not disguise himself too much, but is, wearing some clothes that he doesn't normally wear. Probably find some of his nicer clothes to look like he has more money available.
Okay.
Because I'm imagining if the fancy lad plan goes through, that's going to be a whole other disguise. So he doesn't need to worry too much about hiding what he looks like now. Goes to the gambling dens.
Yeah, I don't have a name for this place. They probably don't have like dedicated names. They probably just are in the basement of whatever building. So you head down. You're going by yourself?
Yep.
Okay. So you head down to Crowsfoot. You can take a carriage. One of the cabbies can take you down there fairly quickly. It's just one district over, or one district south of. Right. I have to reorient myself on this map every time I look at it because the compass rose is not in the direction it should be.
Why do the map makers make maps that don't point north?
I don't know. It distresses me. So I have to like sit here like this, like, okay. Because I'm dumb and haven't had to read a map in 15 years. So you head south into Crowsfoot to one of these gambling halls. They are, one of these is held out of the basement of, I guess, like a business. And what kind of businesses do we have in Crowsfoot? Let's see. We're still learning about the setting. Probably not the Red Sash Sword Academy. I don't think they would like that very much.
What?
I think there's some there's probably, because there's a lot of residential areas here, so there's probably some
Smiths,
like
taverns, brothels, butchers.
Yeah, I'll do one of the taverns. That's fun. So I'll say there's a tavern in Crowsfoot that you've sort of heard through the grapevine, easy enough to find out that a lot of gambling takes place. So you head into the tavern itself. Let's do some tavern music. I don't even know if I have any.
I do like how this song is called "Abandon the Inn," and it's
how it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it. I don't want to hunt down a bunch of stuff on Spotify right now. So, but you head in. It's fairly crowded. People sitting around at tables, drinking, just throwing dice, that kind of thing. You can see sort of the bar is very long along one wall, and then where it hits the back wall, there is sort of a doorway with a rather large man dressed all in black. With one side of his face sort of painted white, sort of standing there, arms crossed, clearly guarding that back doorway.
I think to start, Logan's gonna go to the bar, get himself a drink, and just kind of casually look at the bouncer, and I would like to attempt to study him so that I
Okay.
can gain an idea of how to approach.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, is this just risky or is this controlled?
Oh, I don't know that this is that risky, to be honest. I mean, like,
Mhm.
he's working at a bar, people are going to look at him. So, yeah, I feel like you're in a pretty controlled environment
Okay.
at the moment.
Effect is standard, limited.
We'll do standard.
Okay. No bonus dice. That's only a 3.
Okay. Now pull up the...
Which, if I remember correctly, that is still a failure, but given that this is controlled and standard.
Yeah, nothing too bad is gonna happen. I think more of what happens is just you see a couple of people coming and going. I think the thing that gives you trouble is that he just sort of stands there. He's very stoic, hard to read his face, especially because that one half is painted. It kind of throws off the expressions and everything. As people come through, he barely interacts with them, sort of just waits for people to walk up to him, tell him they want to go down, and if they say the right thing, he seems to let them through, and if not, he just stands in the doorway until they leave.
Mhm.
So I mean, that's sort of its own piece of information, but other than that, there's not really a lot going on with this guy. If there is something going on under the surface, you can't tell.
Yeah. I'm quickly reviewing the list of alchemicals to see if there's something I could do
Sure.
to help out here. Okay. Here is one that I could probably make use of. Now I just have to understand what the numbers mean, but using some trance powder, the
Ooh.
glittering blue powder induces a pleasant hypnotic trance when inhaled.
Okay.
And so I think the plan is to as Logan gets up from the bar, he's gonna start sniffling very loudly and obnoxiously.
Okay.
And kind of pull a handkerchief out of his pocket, pretend to blow his nose into it, then puts it into a different pocket where he is like dabbing it in a bandolier that has the trance powder in it. And so is going to then approach the bouncer and say, "Good evening, sir. Might I inquire what to..." and pretend to sneeze and blow the trance powder into his face.
Oh no. This is very good. You have to roll something
Yeah.
to do it.
Gosh. I think this is carefully applied sabotage.
Yeah. That is true. Finesse has subtle misdirection. This is not subtle though. And sleight of hand. No, carefully applied sabotage I think is good.
Mm-hmm. That's where I have my skill points.
Yeah,
so.
that works for me.
Yeah. All right, but I imagine this is more risky now.
This is risky.
Standard effect.
Yeah.
That's a 4.
Okay, so that's a partial success. So you pretend to sneeze in this man's face.
I mean, mostly into the handkerchief, but blowing the
to blow the
applied
powder.
dust. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Okay, and this is trance powder, you said?
Yes, so it says trance powder, 1 out of 3. A glittering blue powder induces a pleasant hypnotic trance when inhaled.
Okay. So I'll say we'll call this, I don't know how much trouble this is going to cause. I'll call this reduced effect. So I think you managed to get some of the powder his way. You can see it sort of go far enough to be in his vicinity. And he immediately kind of reacts a little bit and is able to fan some of it away. I think some of it still gets to him. And you can see him kind of blink a little bit and like shake his head. And then he just kind of stares at you, like extremely confused about what just happened. Probably enhanced by the powder a little bit. It's like hit him
his
funny.
eyes dilate.
Yeah, it's like hit him weird.
Mm-hmm. Pardonnez-moi, but I was hoping to be able to head down and partake of the more exciting games down there.
Right. Password.
This is Alex trying to come up with some bullshit here. Okay, I think my previous plan had been, I will, how about I order you a drink, or I will, when I come back out, I will give you some of my earnings from the evening. I'm sure standing here must be incredibly boring all evening.
A bribe. Okay, I'm gonna have you roll. I think that would be sway.
I mean, any of them are going to be no points for
But
me.
I'm gonna have the powder give you 2 bonus dice.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so I click on sway. I assume this is still risky.
yes.
So risky, standard effect,
Yeah.
but then 2 bonus dice.
Yes.
It's a 5.
Okay. Yeah, I've between everything that's going on in his head right now, I think you say that and he smiles kind of crooked. It probably does not look happy on him. It's probably a little frightening. And he just kind of steps part of the way to the side, like enough to let you through. So we're gonna call that a reduced effect. And I think you would know this because it's your stuff and you know how it works. By the time you come back out, that's probably not going to be working anymore. There's
Sure.
The lingering effect is probably going to have worn off just because he's such a big guy and he only inhaled part of it. So
Yep.
that seems like a problem for future Logan.
Yep. Merci beaucoup. And we'll make his way on down.
Okay. You make your way down into the basement. Again, it is dim in here, dimly lit with some oil lanterns and stuff. It is smoky. There are people sitting around smoking on a couple of these tables. There are these large but kind of makeshift like hookah pipes sitting in the middle of the tables, and there are lots of card games and dice games and all sorts of stuff. What do you get up to? Who are you looking for? I'm trying to find some better music.
I am looking for Rorik in here, but not gonna try and just go straight to his table. Gonna try and find a game nearby to, do the thing of like get a seat at a table where I can see him and he's like in line of sight, so it's not weird that I keep looking over at him.
Okay. I like that. It's a little more shady. All right, so yeah, you look around. We'll say Rorik, difficult to miss even in a room like this. You see a man matching his description almost immediately at a table that is sort of more central to the room. He's extremely large, very, very muscular. This is a mountain of a man, shaved head, big beard, laughing uproariously at something that someone has said. He is hanging out, playing cards. So you make your way over to one of the side tables. There are a few people sitting around throwing dice. You can join them. They don't seem to pay you a lot of mind.
So yeah, I think just going to play a few rounds. I don't know if it's worth it to try and study the fellow players to earn a little bit of spare money, or
It's up to you.
sure, because gonna be planning to stay and play for a while, so that it's not weird that I've just come in and immediately
Just
leave.
showing up. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll study.
Is this risky, or is this controlled just for how well I do in the game?
I think it's controlled. I think they expect you to be sort of trying to figure out their tells and stuff, so it's not out of the ordinary that you'd be watching them a little bit.
Okay. That's a 5.
Okay. Yeah, that's a partial success, so I'll say. You watch them for a bit. I think it takes you a little bit longer than you expect to kind of grok the game. The basic rules you get, but there seem to be some house rules and some table rules that are going around that you're not familiar with.
Okay.
But you managed to win a couple of rounds. Say I have a coin.
Which I'm probably gonna give to the
some
bouncer, but
so yeah, we'll call that a coin. It's not a lot, but it's more than you came in with, for sure.
Yep. And then throughout this, going to be keeping an eye over towards Rorik and trying to study him, see who he interacts with. Does he have any fancy lads on hand already, or?
He doesn't. He is sort of sitting around with what looks like, from what you can tell, what they're wearing and everything, some other members of the Crows. They're dressed a little nicer than, say, like the bouncer or some of the guards that have been kind of stationed around. So I think you can probably guess they're higher up in the organization, probably some kind of officers, something like that. But yeah, it's him and probably like 4 others that are sitting at the table, and then somebody that is dealing cards. So I don't know a whole lot about gambling. I'll say they're playing blackjack because I know what that one is.
Yep. But yeah, yeah. I mean, so eventually my end goal is to study Rorik and try and get something useful out of this that we can make use of.
Sure.
But I think maybe I assume there is a secondary bar down here.
Yes. Yeah. On one of the walls, there's another bar with kind of a big liquor cabinet behind it.
Yeah. And so I think at one point, after a round, is like, I'm going to go get myself and everyone a drink, but I will be back in a minute.
They sort of nod and smile.
Yep. And I will, try and walk past to get, to pass by his table so I can maybe overhear some conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have you do study one more time. Let's see where that lands you.
And so if I push myself for the bonus die, I just take the 2 stress, but
Yes.
okay. Okay, so that was just, the sheet just tells you that it has a plus, which makes me think I can click on it, but no.
Oh no.
I will give myself the 2 stress and
Okay.
then give myself a bonus die. Is this risky or controlled?
This is risky.
Okay. Standard effect, presumably.
Yeah.
The 1 bonus die. A 5.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of head over to the bar, walking by, getting a little bit closer to the table, and then you kind of situate yourself while you're waiting for drinks, to try to listen in, watch Rorik. He is not trying to be quiet. He is not trying to hide anything. I think you do hear some discussion coming from the table about their plans to go to Moontide. They are talking a little bit about if they're going to bring anyone with them, and Rorik starts talking very loudly in particular about a person named Vinny that he has sort of just recently met and is planning to bring to Moontide with him, sort of as an escort.
Yeah. I think that is. Logan will remember that name. Isn't gonna pull out the notebook here and now and say anything or write it down, but gets the drinks, wanders on back, and will play a few more rounds before excusing himself for the evening.
Okay. You excuse yourself on good terms with everyone at your table. So you played straight, had a good time, bought everybody a drink. They have no reason to be even remotely suspicious of you.
Yep.
And you go to make your way out. I think you notice as you are leaving, sort of right as you make it to the stairs, you like feel eyes on you. And you can turn and kind of catch the eye of a man who is sitting at the table with Rorik, sort of two seats down from him on the left. He's tall, thin, has like shaggy blonde hair, kind of a scarred face. Looks relatively young, but is pretty well worn, and just kind of briefly clocks you leaving, and then goes back to playing cards.
Okay. Not entirely sure what to make of that, but going to head up the stairs, get the extra coin that I earned at the ready. Is Logan just gonna give it to him, or is it only gonna be if he gets stopped? I think Logan is going to try to just make his way out, is going to affect kind of a stumbling demeanor, like he's had something to drink, and so maybe I forgot about this.
Okay. One more roll.
Oh gosh, this is probably not going to go well.
This is probably sway. It's not command.
Yeah, sway has deception.
Yeah. Let's hit me with a sway.
Okay. Risky or controlled?
It is controlled.
Okay, standard effect, no dice, or no bonus dice. 3.
It's a 3. Yeah, I think you barely make it past him, and you feel a very large hand on your shoulder. He doesn't say anything, but just kind of stares at you.
Of course. Like, goes into the pocket, gets out the extra coin, and will like pat him where he's grabbed me, but like has the coin like between fingers.
Mm-hmm. He takes it, lifts his hand. Have a nice night.
As well.
Do you make it out? Relatively unscathed.
Yep. And then going to head on back. Going to keep an eye out, but I think Logan is specifically looking for the shaggy blonde-haired man.
Okay.
I don't know if he doesn't think that he has attracted enough attention to be given like a general tail order.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you have to roll for this. You make your way out to presumably to like catch a cab back to the docks. And I think you do see, because he's not trying to hide himself. I think you do catch his hair just briefly as you see somebody kind of lean out from an alley, kind of clock you getting into a cab, but you see him sort of turn and go back towards the back towards the tavern, not following you.
Just on the ride back is going to pull out his journal. Okay, I was unmuted, but Zoom said I was muted, so I was very
Zoom.
confused.
Get it together.
But on the ride back is going to pull out the journal, and in his cipher is going to write, Vinny, and, the description of the blonde man, and anything else that was interesting. Maybe one of the table mates seemed like a nice chap.
Sure.
But, yeah, heading back to the boat.
All right, and you make it back to the boat. Bron / Omen.
Yes.
What?
That's me.
That's you. What are you doing?
I guess, well, the plan was to go with, it's been one session, I can't remember, Sid's character.
Barbara.
To go with Barbara to the park to, scout out the location.
Yes.
We didn't do that last. I'm trying to remember what we did.
No,
do
you
last
did
session.
not. You did not do that last time. That was the
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a big. I mean, I imagine most of it's just going to be Bron looking for a sniper's nest that he can get set up
yes.
in.
Okay.
So a window of an abandoned apartment with a good view, or if there's a bell tower, that'd be amazing. But I can't imagine. I don't know if there'd be one, but.
Well, fortunately for you, this city is actually known for having some weird bells
Oh, sweet.
all around it that ring when someone dies.
Yeah.
So there are, which I'm not sure. I'd have to look. And chat, don't correct me, because I don't care that much.
Yeah, fuck off, chat.
But no, don't fuck off. Just
Get
chill
out
it
of here. Stop watching.
Don't watch this show. No, just chill it out. Somebody always corrects me, and this is not a correction I care about, because I'm not sure whether it's just supposed to be one bell tower or if there are some around the city. But I think it's more interesting if there are some sort of scattered around
Imagine
the city.
there's one big bell at the
One
middle
real
of the
big
city,
one.
and then a bunch of baby bells around the city.
Around. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I was envisioning. So nobody correct me, because I might be right, or I'm allowed to make up whatever I want. So.
Which is also an ice cream or a cheese or something, right? The baby bell, right? So is this also a city of cheese?
Yeah, we got it, Val.
It's
We got it.
cheese.
I didn't do it on purpose. There's not a got it. I wasn't hammering home a joke I made. City of cheese.
No, that's not. It's not that. Okay. So,
So, Bron's gonna climb up into one of those and just kind of get a lay of the land, while I think Barbara was planning on walking around and talking to people.
yes, yeah. So she, true to her word, does not try to bother you with conversation
Good.
on the way over. She is quiet, perfectly content to not have to talk to anyone. But so you make your way down into Silk Shore, toward Ankayat Park, which is the main sort of open space. It's really the only sort of open common space in the
Can I get a
city.
spelling of that?
Yes. Here, I'll put it in the Roll20 chat. But it's spelled Ankhyat, Ankayat.
Gotcha.
And that is over in, I keep saying down because of the way the map, I'm gonna freaking turn the map in Roll20 so I don't have to keep confusing myself. But so it
We'll
is
have to
sort
turn
of,
our head to read it.
it's fine. Dunslow will just be completely upside down.
Oh, because north is left. Okay.
North is left.
Gotcha.
And I only realized that when we started the session last time. I was like, oh shit, I gotta change all my directions.
How do they turn the map? I'll start adding in text.
Oh no. Turn it. But yes, so it is sort of a southwest from You can I
Oh, I
rotate?
see. So east of Barrow Cliff, south of Silver Shore. Oh god.
I'll fix the grid. So yes, you head down there. Is there? I'll say there's a bell tower nearby.
It looks
Sort
like
of
it's
on
a
the.
pretty open area that there aren't any like buildings or anything in the park. Are there?
Not in the park. Surrounding the park, there are. This is sort of the only like open common space in the city that has any like natural life to it at all. Like the only place where you can really find it's other than like in the very, very, very rich part of town. It's the only place where like common folk could go, and there would be like maybe some trees, there or something like that. So. Is there anything specific that you're looking for, or just trying to get a general lay of the land?
I think probably what I was envisioning right now, because has Barbara's assistance, and Barbara's like familiar with this location or had some sort of contact here, if I'm remembering right.
Yes. So part of Silk Shore is also the artist community.
Right.
Barbara has sort of led on that she has at least some acquaintances that are probably going to be at the celebration.
So I'm imagining from Bron's perspective, what he's doing is getting to this bell tower, like whatever's the best vantage point here, and then creating mapping out his exit so he can exfiltrate when the mission is done, whether he's taking the shot or just providing overwatch once we kind of have our plan. Is wanting to get an idea, is like, is this going to be a good is taking a shot going to be our best way of taking out the target and just like leading them to a good location, or is this something we want to do more like up close and personal? So doing that, and then again, like I said, finding his exit, whether that means like incapacitating the proprietor, like whoever looks over the bell tower, or just marking out like a quick way to get away.
Okay.
And then I imagine what he's doing with like Barbara, and they've agreed on this, and the little bit of conversation that he allowed was like for her to give a signal, like a hand signal or something, when she's standing in locations that, like when she finds the location that he's probably Rorik is probably gonna be like hanging out in, so Bron can see whether or not he has an angle. So it's mostly just gonna be watching Barbara as she moves.
Yeah. So it's getting close to Moontides. Is happening in a couple of days. So you can see some folks. There are actually probably more people here than I think even maybe Barbara was expecting, as people are getting ready to set up, because it's like the one big festival, the one big party that happens every month. So there are people sort of setting up. I'm just gonna have you roll a general, I think, survey.
Okay. Also, is this a situation right now where we need to be tracking our load yet, or is this...
No, that's just for the job part.
For the job. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second,
Because
I did read the rules for that to make sure I knew how it worked.
One of my items is a fine long rifle, which I'm imagining has like some sort of scope on it. It doesn't say
probably, yeah.
specifically.
I mean, if you're specifically like a hunter, so I would imagine.
Yeah. But it's probably, it doesn't have the gun, it does have like the scope.
The scope?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, what am I rolling?
I was gonna say survey,
survey.
unless you have something else you were angling for. The
The
survey is to survey a location to understand what's going on since trouble before it happens, gather information about opportunities or exploits.
Yeah, I guess that makes more sense. Hunt would be more like if he was there, and Bron was...
Yeah, hunt is
stuck.
more specifically the target.
Okay. Yeah, survey works. I was reminding myself whether I could do something with Helsing, but I don't think so. Okay. Oh well. Is this risky, controlled, desperate?
This feels pretty
controlled.
controlled, I think. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of risk to this. I mean, the worst risk is somebody finding you in the bell tower and being like, excuse me, sir. You can't be here.
Okay. Well, that's a 2.
Okay.
Ugh. Okay. All right, I have to push myself before the roll.
I think so.
Okay, darn.
It's been a couple of weeks.
I forget that because every other system is after the roll.
Yeah, it's kind of... I don't really like that, actually. Might change it. Pushing yourself or taking a devil's bargain. Yeah, I mean, I think you're supposed to do it before. I'm gonna look in the book real quick, though. Question is... Where is that? If this takes me more than another second, I'm gonna stop looking.
And I don't get any benefits for using my rifle or anything. The items don't give you benefits, they just let you do the things.
They would say if they gave you specific benefits, the devil's bargain. GM can offer you a bonus die if you accept a devil's bargain.
It's fine. I can take the failure. I'm just curious.
So it says you're supposed to do it like when you're building your pool, but it seems weird that you couldn't like push yourself after the fact.
I mean, it kind of.
You
I
know?
guess it's more of like a preparatory thing than
Yeah.
like seeing I only have 1 die.
I'll make sure. I might decide I want to change the pushing rules for fun, but for now it's a 2.
Okay.
So I think you are having a particularly difficult time seeing. What time of day would you have gone over here?
Probably would have tried to make it because this is the day before. I forgot how long it is until the.
Like a day or 2.
Okay. Probably would have tried to come around the same time of day we're expecting the event to be, so can have a good idea of the lighting and.
Okay, so it'll be in the evening. So I think you make it over a little after twilight. So this is after the little bit of sun has sort of faded, but before the moon has really risen proper. And it's sort of foggy and rainy. And I think you have a difficult time seeing. It's a decent vantage point. But I don't know that they are far enough in the preparations for the festival itself for you to get a good idea of where everything is going to be. You can see sort of at one end of the park where they're setting up like a little bit of a raised like stage where there's probably going to be some performances happening. And then along these sides, like some tents are going up. Those could be for a variety of different things. So you're probably just going to have to rely on some eyes on the ground kind of in the moment.
Okay.
It's hard to predict sort of where he's going to be.
If I did check, there's a specific item called a spyglass which can attach to my rifle. So that's another load if I want to have the scope on the rifle.
Okay, good to know.
So that's what. I'm gonna keep all that in mind for the mission.
Yes.
Okay.
Which we're about to plan for in earnest.
All right. So not ideal. What I'm getting here is like not ideal lighting for a marksman.
No.
Okay.
Definitely not. Later on, once the moon has risen, maybe. The moon tends to be much brighter and tends to come through a lot more clearly than the sun, which you really can't see because it's only the fragments of it. So maybe later at night you might have a better chance.
Okay.
But it's going to be difficult to pull it off that way.
Okay. And does Bron ever get the signal from from Barbara of finding out where Rorik is going to be?
She signals to you a couple of times, sort of from up near the stage that's being set up, kind of to let you know more than anything that it's probably a safe bet that people are going to congregate there to see whoever's performing, noting that it might be a little crowded in that area. And then also sort of off to the side where those tents are being set up, I think she sort of waves to you, throws up a signal again. She would let you know, I think, based on what she knows, that being set up over there is probably going to be vendors. Specifically, she's trying to get a lay of like where like the food and drink are going to be, because it's probably a safe bet that over in some of those tents, he's probably going to be there if they're selling booze.
Okay.
So she can kind of make those assumptions for you a little bit.
I think what Bron is probably also doing, if I can, is has like it's like sketching out a map of the layout and where things are going to be.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Again, it's something, it's not anything like wildly complicated, because they kind of have to set it up and then take it almost immediately down, and they do it several times a year. So it's pretty straightforward.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and then as far as my ability to get out from here, what is that looking like? Am I gonna have to deal with any guards?
There's probably going to be just, and you can kind of guess this because most of you have probably attended this festival before in some capacity. Just it's sort of a regular thing that everyone does. There's probably going to be some police presence. Probably not a whole lot, considering for the most part they don't want to get involved with all of the gang business that is sort of going on, but there is sort of enough of a presence that if something serious were to happen, there would at least be some kind of response there.
Okay.
And I've lost the name of the faction. We talked about them last time.
With the gray the blue coats?
The blue coats.
Yeah.
The blue cloaks? The blue coats. Yeah, they're
because it's the gray cloaks are the former.
That are the former police, yeah. I had the sheet with the factions, and I just sort of lost it. Don't know where it is. It's fine. But yes, the blue coats. There will probably be a little bit of presence. You can see a couple of them. I think Barbara sort of clocks them too, kind of milling about, watching the setup. But there's not a real heavy presence, at least at this point.
Cool. Then I think are there any buildings close enough to the tower to like where there's a short enough gap to jump between them?
That's a good question.
Like, could we could Bron make a rooftop escape, or
perhaps? I was gonna see what kind of buildings are in Silk Shore, because unfortunately I don't know how tall tall narrow row houses of wood and stone. So yeah, that makes sense. As I think a lot of the buildings in Silk Shore tend to be taller because there's not as much ground area, because so much of it is canals.
Okay.
So there are probably some buildings nearby that are not the same height as the bell tower. I think it is taller, but there are buildings that are at least a couple of stories tall that you could theoretically jump to.
Okay.
Or set something up ahead of time.
All right, then yeah, Rod makes note of that for setup once we come up with a plan. That might be a better escape route than the streets. Okay.
Well, there aren't really many streets, is the thing.
Or the.
So that's the other thing to clock, is that a lot of your travel is going to be by gondola.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty much it.
Okay, you grab Barbara, grab a cab, and head back to the boat. Does the boat have a name?
Does the boat have a name?
Does the boat have a name?
Bodie.
I don't think so, because I think we got shouted down when we tried to call it Bodie McBoatface.
You guys can call it whatever you want.
Well, we're
It doesn't have to have a name. I was just curious.
We're Bone Voyage, so I think it should be something in that,
Yeah.
like,
I don't know enough nautical terms and the scientific names for bones, but there's probably some crossover.
I mean, there's like the cockboat.
the what?
I think it's called the cockboat.
Okay, I want to be
I
able
mean,
to
there's the
say this.
coccyx.
I want to be able to say this name and not sound like a complete dude.
It's a definition of a cockboat is a small boat.
Okay. We'll put a pin
I
in
remember
that one.
because GB brought this up at one point. It's a lot of fallacies on the ocean.
All I could think of was a cigarette boat, but those are also small. Oh, Z
Okay.
is in chat. What a good person to have in chat for this one particular discussion.
How about the bow rider?
Yes. The only thing I can think of
The
is
cabin
is the
crusader.
Tibia Mariners from Elden Ring.
Uh,
I hate those fools. They summon giant skeletons that shoot lasers at you. Lots of fallacies on the ocean. Oh my gosh.
See, I just did a whole shading on the wrong layer, so yeah, you're in chat. You understand.
Okay, so we're gonna think about that. Chat, if you have any suggestions, please put them in chat. I love to hear them and laugh at all the funny things that you guys say. Maybe we'll call it Bodie McBoatface, but we'll think about it. So Bron heads back to the boat. I think that's a good place to take a quick break as we head into final preparation. So essentially what's gonna happen now is you're gonna come together. They're gonna make a plan. We're gonna talk about equipment load and stuff, and then it's go time.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a potential murder unless things go horribly awry, which they might, depending on who's rolling the dice. Because today, LB succeeded on everything. Alex was right in the middle,
And I've continued
and
to fail.
Val
on everything.
continues to fail.
Everybody gets one.
So we'll see what happens. We're gonna take a quick break. Thanks for hanging out with us so far, everybody. We will be back in just a quick few minutes to plan a murder in earnest. So stick around. We'll be back soon. Internet, thanks for hanging out with us during our break. We are going to continue on into the end of the planning phase of the score. So this is kind of on you guys before we get to the engagement roll and everything. Not that kind of engagement, don't worry.
I was gonna say, I didn't think this game required that level of commitment.
Not on the first score. Does sort of make the fact that it's called a score sound a little different though. Anyway, so you're all back together. You're all on the boat. You can do this in character, out of character, or a combination of both. I don't care. But you've got the information you're gonna get for the most part. So you gotta make a plan. It doesn't have to be a completely fleshed out plan. It can be sort of a basic thing. It can be step by step, sort of whatever you guys want to do. But how are you gonna approach this? Normally you would pick like what kind of plan this is. There's assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, and transport. Pretty much most of yours are going to be assault, which are do violence to a target. But you might get into some of the other stuff, so we can gloss over that for now. So go ahead. How do you want to approach this?
So probably in.
If you guys need anything from Barbara, she is there. I'll have her contribute what she can.
Mhm.
No. Barbara leaves.
Right,
First,
so
should probably discuss what everyone has learned and figure out what we have to work with. You okay, Bron? You spilled some of your coffee? Well, it will eat any rats that are on board, so.
all right. Okay. No, it's fine. Just let it go. It'll be fine. Right? Okay. Fucking orange cats. What I found out was the apparently the okay, I can't do this with you right in my face, my love. The red sashes are very much interested in getting Roan out of the way. So Rorik out of the way. So I think we could use that as a resource if we need it. They did tell me that they wanted maybe a little sash left at a scene, but I think that would be very good for our misdirection. Keep the heat off of us. Before?
What if we judgy it up a bit, make it seem less, I mean, I can't imagine if a Red Sash were doing this, they would just leave it as a calling card, but if we make it seem less intentional in its placement,
What?
might
Little rip?
might make things.
I mean, it's be a good little inlay into getting them more on our side, so that maybe in the future it's easier for us to move around the city. It's always good to have friends.
In the neighborhood, and it would throw suspicion off of us as the culprits.
What? What? I mean, that's the end game there. But how are we going to do this?
Well,
That's a real question. Right. 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 Had to take a shot as well.
Val, we can't hear you on stream.
Stream can't hear you.
Oh no!
Why didn't unmute? Thank you
OBS.
for saying that.
Bron was worried about how the Red Sash is going to affect things, like why would we do that favor for them, and then started to lay out the layout of the park.
Yeah, my mute button didn't.
Thanks, chat.
work. Thank you. So here's where the stage is going to be set up, and then the problem is with the lighting and the setup there, unless we delay him for a few hours, it's going to be a real hard shot to make.
Right. So
Okay.
maybe a little close and personal on this one? Not you, I'm just saying in general.
I guess if there's a way you might be able to get him alone.
In terms of that, I do believe I know who he will be attending with. Or at the very least, I have a name. I do not know this individual, but apparently is taking a fancy to a Vinny of late. Intends to visit Moontide with this Vinny. And so either we can do something to incapacitate Vinny, and perhaps if we dress me up as a fancy lad of similar appearance, it might do for a, oh no, Vinny is sick. Well, you're good enough. Let's go. So that
You think you're up to the task?
as long as I just keep my mouth shut and look pretty.
Alright.
But when I was at the gambling den and overheard this, one of his lieutenants, perhaps, took an interest in me. We did not speak. I do not know if he even overheard me, but he watched me as I left the establishment, so I will almost certainly need a disguise of some sort.
I can definitely help with that. I guess it comes to the question of how do we actually do the deed?
Well, I think if Logan here has put himself out on the hook as bait, we need to keep you as far away from doing the deed as possible, because people are gonna recognize you, and gives you some amount of deniability. If you can get him in the right spot, then, well, we have options at that point.
Right.
Alternatively, something we could do with the vendors is try and take over a stall where we know he's going to get drinks and could poison something.
That works too. It's subtle.
Poison. We got up close and personal knife to the heart.
That's a little too dramatic, I think, for this. Somebody's gonna clock you if we do it that way. I think poison or shot from long range, and out of what I'm seeing, poison seems to be the easier of the two.
Right.
In which case, perhaps we get a sense of this Vinny and find out what they like and take over a vendor where they are likely to want to stop.
Probably then to break up into two teams. One, stepping in for a vendor, which means probably incapacitating a current vendor and taking over their stall. And two is somebody nabbing Vinny the day of and taking their spot.
Well, I think Barbara's gonna be best for incapacitating someone and then quick takeaway, you know. But I mean, I could fake it. Could be a vendor.
All right. So, team one is you and Barbara take out and replace some of the vendors there. Team
As long
two.
as she's all right with that.
Yeah, Barbara, are you good with that plan?
Me?
What?
All right.
I am arm candy. I can perhaps maneuver him into a position where you can get a shot.
Yeah, I'll probably day of just provide overwatch backup in case things go wrong.
Yeah, I think that Bron probably should stay as far away as possible.
Yeah,
Right.
they already clocked me once, so. But as far as finding this Vinny, I can help you with that. We take him out, and then you set yourself up nicely as bait. Then you do your job of luring him to the right vendor stall.
Get a little poison in there. Right. I do have my Lara. We can still get some information from her.
Which one was that?
The head of the red shirts, the red silks, whatever.
Sashes. You're joining this group and you don't even know the name of this group.
Oh, I'm not joining them. They know that.
Okay. Are you sure?
Well, it's
they
good
know
to have
that?
friends.
I'm just making sure you know you're getting roped in with some pretty dangerous people. These are expert swordsmen.
What? We are a group of assassins. You remember that, right?
Yeah, and even I'm scared of them with the blade, so...
More reason to be friends with them.
Yeah, it's easier for a friend to stab you, though.
Looks at Barbara, looks away. Right, yeah. Yeah. A little bit of danger. Not a problem.
Alright. Coming back around to that, that's your deal that you set up with the sashes. So
Right.
if you want to carry through on that, that's your neck on the chopping block if it goes wrong.
course. What? They don't know about y'all, so y'all.
I'm sorry, is my
I can do this accent.
rubbing off on you.
Right, sorry, bleeding. So I think that's a good plan. I just have to find a little bit more about this character. It's Logan. No, what's his name?
Vinny.
Benny.
All over the place in names today.
Bruh.
Question for the
Brain.
GM. We have that noble patron, right?
Mhm.
Who is
That's what I
a
was
friend of
thinking.
ours.
You do.
Could we get them to reserve or, pay a premium for Vinny's services that evening so that we don't have to resort to violence?
Potentially.
to do a murder.
You're
You're
gonna
going
get to do a
to.
murder. Don't worry.
I'm not going to, though. Y'all are going to poison them. I'm not going to get to shoot anybody. Okay,
Well,
fine.
The way we roll, you probably
I
will.
wouldn't.
Yeah, so I think to summarize, our plan is get Logan to replace as the arm candy, try and
Yes.
steer towards the vendor stall that we have taken over where there's poison at the ready. If that
Yes.
doesn't work, Logan can try and
Get him.
steer into position to
Yeah.
get shot.
Probably, yeah. Backup plan is Bron maybe marks out, even though it's not ideal, like the best place where he could get a shot cleanly on on Rorik, and that would
Okay.
be plan B.
Okay.
Now, I should say I have 0 in sway for this, which is the deception and
Right.
seduction one.
So you don't talk. We
That's
just
the
make
idea.
it look good.
Yeah. It's very
Hmm.
pretty and just
Wait, I've got an idea for that. Or just speak the language your native language. For most part, yes is a nose. Do not.
Mm.
He always lands on his feet. Right. Exotic, you know?
Do you know any other languages, Logan?
E?
I'm
Oh,
Jemma is
you.
going to say in
Specifically,
French.
not we.
Yeah, no, I'm asking about you.
There are languages in this setting. I don't care to look them up right now. French can be one of them.
Yeah, I just need to remember. So, Logan is from outside the city.
I know earlier we had said he was, but either he is out from outside or like studied abroad and then came back.
There are also several languages that are spoken within Doskvol, because it is over. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the timeline that I posted for you, but at least once in Doskvol's recent history, it received a lot of refugees. So there are at least like 3 main languages that are spoken in Doskvol, and then some other like dialects and things like that. So it is not unreasonable for, especially like Logan, who probably spends a lot of time with books and things like that. It's not unreasonable for you to know more than one language.
Yeah, because that's what I'm just curious, because I know Bron was from outside the city, is Skovlin, and came from as one of the refugees. So I was just curious for RP stuff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Skovland has their own language that is spoken here. There's one other one too. I had a list. I don't know where it is. Because there's the native language of the continent, and then a lot of the Skovland refugees, and then there's a couple of other ones. So. All right.
So getting back a bit to maybe trying to get in touch with our noble friends, see if we can get them to help out at all, or we can just figure out another way to remove Vinny from the picture.
What?
Well, so I guess kind of a point on that is like, we decided that the thing that lets us avoid the death crows or whatever is that we specially prepare it for the victim, right? So
yeah.
No, this would
murder.
be just a good old-fashioned murder.
So just be a murder.
I think it's a good idea to contact the noble and see what they can do about it.
Okay. So this sounds like a 3-part plan with a branching last step, essentially.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple of setup actions, which that is one of the teamwork moves that I don't think I put on Roll20, but so if you have a multi-step plan, there are these teamwork maneuvers that exist. There's the assist thing that you all already know you can do. You can take a stress and give somebody an extra dice. There are group actions and things like that, but there is one called setup. And it sounds like some of you are doing some setup actions to prepare for the main plan.
Yeah. I think we also need a 4th step, which is our get out.
Distraction.
Just get out. Sure.
Yeah. Because we're going to have a couple people that are going to be in danger as soon as after he drinks the poison, which is going to be Logan, first and foremost. Yeah. And then Jemma and Barbara, to a lesser extent, need a method of exfiltration.
Okay.
So
You want to plan that now?
Yeah, we should probably come up with, like, how do we get, like, once he... All right, let's, I guess, in character. Once he drinks the poison, I guess somebody better than I. It's not really my specialty. How long will we have until he kicks it?
Depends on what poison we use. I'm looking at the poisons that they provide. None of them are specifically lethal, it says, but could always just do arsenic or something.
Yeah, I mean, anything's lethal in a big enough dose.
Yep. So yeah, it could, and Logan is presumably practiced enough that he would be able to dose it right so that it is, a slow acting poison, or, oh, the god, he's foaming at the mouth, right away.
Yeah, well, that's the question, because we want something fast acting enough so we can confirm he's dead before we leave. Because we don't want him going somewhere and then getting treatment and surviving.
Right. But as a thing, the bell won't toll and the crows won't come. So maybe they'll think he's still alive, which will give us a little bit of time, because it's odd that he would fall down and stop responding. It'll give us time to escape. We're like, oh shit, he's not dead, because obviously the bell didn't toll, the crows didn't come.
Well, so does the bell not toll too? Because it just says you're hidden.
Oh.
Our activities are hidden from the notice of Death Seeker crows. You don't take extra heat when a killing involved is on the score. So I don't know if it necessarily I wouldn't want to bank on the idea that they're just
Right.
going to be stupid enough to think that he's still alive.
Yeah. So
Right.
it doesn't stop the bells.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is more of the it's essentially hindering the Death Seeker crows from being able to find
Who did it?
the scene of the crime.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but the Death Seeker crows hone in on the body
Yeah.
specifically. So essentially, what you're doing is giving yourself enough time to get away.
So really,
Um,
the advantage of the Crow's Veil is if we're trying to kill somebody in secret. This is more of a public killing, so it's not really gonna like everybody's gonna know where the body is as soon as he drops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
but
just
so-
essentially it's giving you all enough time to
But we also don't
get out of the
heat.
picture before the crows intervene.
The mechanic part of it is that we don't get the extra heat.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't get extra heat at the end.
Okay.
Do the bells just magically toll when someone dies?
Uh-huh.
Or okay, so it's not the crows find them and report back, and then the bells.
No,
ring.
the bells are what send out the crows.
Gotcha. Okay. But so I did have an idea for the poison. To avoid getting too blue, essentially it's gonna make him need to go to the bathroom, and then that's just gonna end poorly for him. You know, and
That's
so they'll find him
gross.
dead in the outhouse.
That is the as gross as that is the probably the best option to give us
Yeah, for
time
sure.
to leave, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it'll then give fancy lad Logan an excuse to not be right next to him when he dies.
But do we want a sexier murder for our first murder?
No, not.
No.
I don't think there is. I mean, we could get it so they're alone with Logan and like they're in the bed chambers.
No, I don't
but,
mean sexier as in like literal sex. I mean
Oh,
sexier
okay, okay,
as
okay.
in like a cooler murder that doesn't involve
Nah.
someone shitting themselves to death.
It will also be, I mean,
But I'm fine with that, really.
the way that the only way you'll be able to confirm he's dead is if someone checks on him or
Yeah.
banking on when the bells ring it being him.
And that would probably be my number one hitter. Like, I want to know he's dead. 100%. Because if we fuck this up, it's going to be our
Mhm.
heads.
Yeah.
So
Also-
either way, we need to be able to confirm that he's dead. Like, if we go with that poison, it's fine. We just need to be able to check to make sure he's dead after.
Yeah.
What if...
So I guess one other thing is, it could be fancy lad Logan, which we're gonna have to come up with a name for this person soon, that goes and's like, Rourke, dear, you're taking a long time. Oh mon dieu, he's dead! And like make a scene of that,
Yeah.
but then we then need to figure out how he will extricate from that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we could even go with the idea, like, we could backtrack on this rather than Bron providing Overwatch. Bron could set up an ambush, and once you get him there, like you said, like, cut his throat or something in the bathroom once he goes in there. Because that would be something I'd also be decent at, because Prowl is to attack somebody.
Oh, right. And then you could drop the sash. Win, win, win.
Yeah. That would be a little showier. And we'd also have the confirmation that he was dead, and he would have a reason to have him alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Jemma can run defense outside if the bodyguards get a little testy or like impatient.
I guess that's the question: is like, are the bodyguards going to let him go to the bathroom on his own?
Mhm.
I mean, I guess it depends. Is this gonna be like rows of outhouses like at a festival, or is there a dedicated restroom facility?
Savannah? Something
What's the
I'm sure
bathroom
that you
situation like?
that you planned. What is the bathroom situation like at this party?
I'm going to say there's a dedicated building because it is like a public park and is kind of the
Mhm.
city's like only outdoor space.
Is this like the Roman like style, like it's all open, everybody's just doing their stuff in front of each other, or
No. No, I don't like that.
No.
just making sure?
No.
Gross.
No.
I forgot what they called that, but there's a word for it.
Oh, well, we don't need to know it
Yeah,
because it's not
I need to know.
happening.
but so
No, I think there's like a dedicated like restroom building with like stalls. I mean, there's no like indoor plumbing necessarily, but
There's a lot of holes that have been dug.
there's like a fountain for washing your hands, maybe. I don't know.
But okay, so guards will probably at least go with him into the building, but in the stall itself should be.
Yeah. So hopefully, maybe the Jemma's 2-part thing will be. How many guards does he run with normally? 2?
How many were at the table with him?
At the table there were 4. But they were all playing cards together. So.
Because I mean, Jemma could definitely run interference on 2 of them with her ability to sway people, and she could make them forget their interaction. As long as she can sway them. So that would be a good blocker for Bron to then slit a throat. We also do have Barbara who can Jemma and Barbara could fake a fight, or like there's different ways we could distract them in that moment, and having when Barbara's there, like we'll just have to, we don't know what they're going to do once they go into the bathroom. Then
Barbara's better at like a straight up and down fight, like if it turns to like fisticuffs.
Yes, yeah, because Sid's not here to tell you guys this. I don't know. Can you guys see each other's sheets? Yeah. Okay, so you should be able to see her stuff. But she's got her main thing is like skirmish and then wreck, and then she's got a couple in like prowl and command and survey. So, but yeah, she's better in kind of a fist fight.
Okay.
Close combat, assault, brawling,
I do like
wrestling.
how, in theory, Sid and I are the same level of good at rec, but it covers like the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, it really does.
But mechanically, Logan is just as good at wrecking stuff with savage force as Brix is.
Copper.
Do you have access to explosive?
Wait, lean back again.
Lean back and Copper's
He's
just there.
lurking.
I don't know. I don't think Stream can see him because of the name bars,
Hello, guys. You guys see
you'll
him
just have to
somewhere?
believe a Stream. I'll just lean back and suddenly a cat.
Yeah, you can't see it on stream.
Sitting there
Big
staring
cat.
at.
He's so sinister looking.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish you guys could see him. That was so funny.
Okay, so we were starting to say.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Explosives. What are your feelings on those?
Well, so as part of my potential loadout, I can have fine wrecking tools, which a small powerful drill, a mallet and steel spikes, a pry bar, an electroplasmic battery, clamps, wire, vials of acid, a spark torch cutter, and fuel tank.
So we
Okay.
could make a bomb. So do you want it to be more sexy and make
So,
a bomb?
I was thinking that's actually like a really good method of like causing some chaos for us to leave
Yep.
the scene.
So, idea, because if like Logan could probably spend the rest of the time between now and then preparing, whatever this poison is or this theoretical bomb, but then like gives it to Bron to go plant in the bathroom, and then we're gonna blow up the whole restroom for everyone. But
That's a lot of potential civilian casualties.
yeah, I mean, Logan can probably make it more like a claymore, and we just have to figure out what stall
What
he's
stall
gonna be
he's
in.
Yeah,
gonna
I don't
be in.
think we could do that.
Well,
I don't think Jemma would be as cool with potentially blowing up civilians.
Yeah.
so here's what we do. Bron goes to the bathroom, locks all of but one stall, but from the inside. We know he's going to use that one now.
I think we're getting too chaotic with this. I think the simpler is the better.
Okay. I like the idea of ambushing him in the bathroom. And having probably the best option is that like Bron will hide in one of the stalls when he comes in. If he comes in
Yeah.
with with multiple guards. We just need some way of distracting them. And so my
Yeah.
thought was, if we have a small explosive or something, Bron could like toss that out. So again, not like more like a stun grenade or something than like an actual like damage causing thing. That would be a great way to distract the guards.
So if we have it so that Jemma is distracting some of them at the stall or whatever, the other guards go with him to the restroom, fancy lad joins and because my italics thing that I always have is blowgun and darts and syringes. I could use that to catch one of them by surprise and inject them with something while you handle.
And Bron will be there as backup. Like, we take out the 2 guards in an ambush, and then we deal with Rorik.
Yep.
Okay, I dig it. All right, so I just need my notebook. I am so sorry. So
all right, lay me out some steps.
Get Vinny out of the picture via our noble friend. Set up Logan with Rorik. Pick a vendor to impersonate, knock them out, impersonate them. Have Logan go over, put poison in one of the things, whatever it is, poison him. They go to the bathroom. Jemma distracts with a different disguise, distracts the guards, and quick change. I was like, I've actually planned this in my head as like a wig reveal, like as she's walking, flip her cloak around. And then and Bron is already in the bathroom. Depending on how many go in there, we will either distract outside or take out inside. Logan will be in the bathroom with them, and knife slit to the throat, bail. If there is a distraction that is needed, we signal, and Barbara starts fucking shit up. In a distraction capacity, not like a killing the guards capacity. Make sense?
And the exit plan is...
Yeah. A cockboat. Oh. I'm down.
So how are we going to afford a boat, or do we just find
Like a canoe.
Yeah, or maybe... Oh, apparently you're muted again, Val.
Okay, for some reason it's muting.
Now you're muted in Zoom.
Yeah.
Feel my struggle when I stream on Tuesdays.
Yeah, the issue. So normally mine unmutes when I'm not. For some reason, if I don't have OBS up, it's not.
Yeah.
Me.
Yep.
Normally it doesn't do that.
The hotkey issue.
Yeah, the hotkey.
Yes.
The hotkeys a hot mess right now. Okay.
The Zoom updates and the OBS updates don't like each other.
Yeah, they don't.
That's true.
So I'm thinking that like we just put something loud and non-lethal in like a trash can on the other side of the park. Just something to cause some chaos.
Yep.
Is probably our best option.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a little
Because the timing of this,
flashy.
the timing of this is not going to be something we can put down to the minute. This is going to be up to Logan to be able to. I think after Logan is done. Okay. Other question: do we need any more information from the red sashes?
I mean,
Besides, we could get information on Vinny probably from them.
Yeah, Vinny, maybe what guards he's gonna have. The things of like, finding out what food Rorik likes, so that it's like, okay, we'll take them to that stall and give them something that's laced.
Okay.
Can I propose a slight change to the plan? I know we're kind of getting in the weeds, but I just had a thought. Rather than having Jemma have some sort of plan to distract and pull off some of the guards, what if we have Barbara kind of follow to the stall, so we have all the guards in the same place for an ambush between Barbara, Logan, and Bron, and Jemma goes to set off the distraction on the other other side while all is going on. Unless there was
Yeah.
a reason why you think that distracting some of the guards is a better option there.
I think what I'm worried about and what Jemma would be worried about is this is a public restroom. It's not going to be just them in there. And like people are going to run out. So like the minimizing a fight in the restrooms is probably going to be for the best. Like doing the murder and like as quietly as possible is going to be ideal.
So we poison all the guards so that it's
We poison everyone.
Well, they have a bad time, but
Except
only
for
Rorik gets the lethal dose.
Okay. Gemma's like, I should have labeled these. I don't.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, well, that also banks on them. Like, if the guards are working, they might not be eating or drinking anything during the
Exactly.
Well, even give them cups of water or something.
Yeah.
Can I
think
remind you
as-
guys of something that might be helpful?
Yeah.
So don't forget about the other factions, specifically the ones that you guys have relationships with.
Yeah, because we have like the gondoliers.
Because if you need folks to help you do something, there is a possibility of calling in favors or asking for things and owing favors specifically. So the dockers, I don't know if you guys could finagle them being some kind of help for you, but I don't want you to forget that they're there.
Yeah.
Because you guys do have previously established relationships with at least a couple of groups of people. Or you could go to somebody that you don't have a relationship with and try to finagle some kind of favor for owing them as well. So you have other folks that if you don't want to just rely on the four of you having to do everything.
Yeah.
Or you can, that's sort of a character choice within the group. But I just want to remind you that those folks are there and that those sort of relationships can be
still
used
worry
organically.
that we're overcomplicating this and not just give him like a lethal dose of some like highly toxic like poison.
You could do that.
And then as soon as he goes down, setting off a distraction so that we can escape without the guards like turning around, rather than doing this whole ambush in the bathroom thing.
Right.
Might be better. Just give him something that's just gonna kill him on the spot, and then Bron can still be in the watchtower. Maybe we set up the explosion in a place where he could remotely trigger it by like shooting it or something, and then
Oh yeah. Okay.
and then the whole thing goes off with a bang, and then y'all use that chaos to escape, and Bron provides covering fire and take out a couple guards if they start to pursue. I think that might be better than having so many dominoes
Yeah.
in place.
Yeah.
If we're already getting him to drink something as part of this plan,
Yeah.
might as well make that the thing that kills him. And if he doesn't drink it, then we go with the plan B of him
Right.
shooting him.
I do worry that someone is going to then like test it for him.
Yeah. If that's
So
the-
have it not be fast acting, whatever it is.
If we're powerful enough and had another advancement, there is a leech thing later. Well, no, that's a later thing.
Yeah.
It's not going to help right now.
the problem is the slower acting of poison, the more chances there are to keep him from dying.
Exactly.
So if he does have a taste tester that comes in to drink for him, which I mean
That
Or-
seems like a
extreme.
certain level of
That's a
paranoia.
certain level of paranoia that I don't know if we've gotten any intel that is going to be a concern at this point. But if that happens and one of them dies, then we go with plan B.
But it might be a thing if we keep killing people by poison that everyone's going to start having taste testers in the city.
Yeah. There.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would prefer going with the idea that we can kill him with that. If somebody else goes to taste test it, maybe we have a signal in place that we just
Right.
go ahead and take the shot. And
Or Logan can offer to do it and have taken
Like
either
an
an
anti-
antidote
yeah.
or not actually drink it.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of him creating a serum or something that would
Yeah.
counteract it. That he eats a whole fistful of charcoal beforehand.
Don't
Yeah.
do that
Don't do that.
in real life.
Don't do that, guys.
But yeah, probably something like that. And then Logan takes it.
Okay.
Mhm. Or even if the the thing of cheersing and oh no, it's spilled into my drink too, and so having that on hand would
Mhm.
be helpful.
Fistful of Charcoal is my Nine Inch Nails cover band. Sorry, continue.
You challenge him to a battle of wits by setting 2 cups in front of you. One
no.
is poisoned and one is not.
Well, so that's the advancement I get. I choose a drug or poison that I've become immune to, and what I can also do is push myself to secrete it through my skin or saliva as a vapor.
Oh, jeez.
What?
That's
Yeah,
insane.
So
Crazy.
I think that's going to be fun for later, especially if
Oh
we
my
do
God.
more of the Logan is fancy lad stuff.
Mm-hmm. Jesus.
Oh my
I'm
God.
All right.
almost certainly going to take that.
Yeah, this
ability
game-
later.
This game has some buck wild abilities, y'all.
I've even
Jesus
looked at my
Christ.
abilities. What do I get later? What sweat powers do I get later?
You want some sweat powers?
I want sweat powers.
I want sweat powers. Jesus Christ. Okay, cool.
You get the ability to take stuff from other playbooks. I don't know. I think everybody gets that at some point, but
Maybe, yeah.
Probably.
So I can also take sweat powers later. So you're saying.
in theory.
Jesus.
Okay,
We all get sweat powers.
walk me through the new plan.
So, Alex, you've probably been writing it down better than I have, so maybe
Yeah,
you do.
so Noble Friend somehow gets Vinny out of the picture. We get Logan in as backup fancy lad. Direct Rorik to the stall that we have taken over that has the poison prepared. There's an anti-serum ready, either taken beforehand or ready to be dished out. Probably taken beforehand, given that we want this to be fast acting.
Mhm.
Rorik eats or drinks the poison, starts dying on the spot. The guards are like, hey, what's going on? Bron shoots the flashbang that we've prepared to cause a distraction, and we skedaddle
Yes.
to
Okay.
where we either go with the, we have the dockers maybe setting up a line of boats that we can just hop across a canal with.
Because I
Or-
assume we don't have a way to remote detonate a bomb in this setting, other than by
Though
shooting
it does say clockwork, which I know there was a thing about like, oh, we don't have timing super precise, but if it's like, okay, they're approaching or Rorik has eaten the thing, we can quickly set a timer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
In theory, yeah.
because the only person who's not going to be doing something actively is going to be Bron. Bron could be down on the ground instead and set up the bomb as soon as he heads towards the stall. But having it be less
Or-
precise on a timer, it is just going to make things a little harder to plan.
Yep. I was gonna say you could set the bomb up in the bell tower, and so that it is like a very visible, like, oh, there's been an explosion up there, and then you book it out of the tower.
Yeah, but we also don't want to we want to have as little heat as possible. I feel like that would be a lot of heat, unless it's like a non-destructive,
Yeah, like it's just gonna be a big bang. And
Loud
people are like, wait,
and-
what's going on? Oh wait,
Yeah.
like we're not gonna topple the bell tower or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the idea was it being like a flashbang or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that would cause enough chaos. I think it needs to be on the ground. Because it's not an immediate danger to people.
Yeah,
They're
that's
not
what I'm
going to
saying.
run
We just
away.
put one in a
Yeah.
tree or something
Yeah,
at the edge of the
Yeah.
park, an easy vantage point for Bron, takes the shot
yeah, I agree.
and blows it up at a distance.
Okay.
And that way it's away from everyone. Probably no one will
Mhm.
even recognize the gunshot because there'll be the explosion immediately after and
Mhm.
enough to blow up a tree and freak people out. So, collateral damage, 1 tree.
Ripperito.
How is the Crow's Veil taking effect in this plan?
Oh wait, did we decide we need to do something with blood? Is that what we said we need to do?
Vaguely.
I mean, it could be, again, I have the like flow gun and darts and syringes. I could, when the distraction happens, just quickly shoot him with a thing that like injects something that will make it so that he's undetectable.
Oh, was that what it was? We had some sort of serum.
We left it kind of vague. So
Yeah, like it would.
I'm fine with it taking different
Yeah, I mean, maybe
sort of
that's
different
part
stuff
of the,
as you go along.
part of the drink we give them is part of the. If we're going with this idea that there's something they have to ingest, or we have to give to our targets beforehand to keep them from.
Yeah, just mix it into the poison.
Yeah,
Okay,
it'll be a little herby.
just a little.
It's a very hoppy beer.
Okay, so setup.
Least complicated plan ever. We got.
Least complicated plan ever. We'll get better at it as it goes
Hey, at least we
along.
stopped. We checked ourselves at some point. We're like, wait, this is getting too complicated. Let's take it a step back.
Okay, so let me go to the teamwork stuff because some of this is going to be setup actions. So when you perform a setup action, you have an indirect effect on the obstacle. If your action has its intended result, any member of the team who follows through on the maneuver, you get improved position and all
One more
this.
thing
You
I
get to
just
do
thought
better.
of. We also have our noble friend help get Jemma and Barbara to replace the vendors so that we don't have to like take vendors out ourselves or something.
That sounds boring.
Yeah, how much can we push this noble for? Yeah, one, what's interesting? Two, what are the limits on our noble friends' help?
That's a good question. So they are a contact of yours. Let me see if there's a specific.
Oh, it's a Rima, a vicious noble.
Yeah, the NPC name in there is Iramina. You guys can pick a different name if you want.
I like your
I'm not attached to it. Da-da-da. Let me get to the crew thing.
Oh, I forgot. Do we all have deadly friends, or do we all have different types of friends? Mine
Yeah,
are
you all have
different friends.
contacts.
Mine are clever.
Yeah, there's a contact in our So you guys have a favorite contact.
Uh-huh.
So this is a close friend, longtime ally, or partner in crime.
I forgot that I have an assassin friend.
Oh, we need to do faction stuff for them. I forgot about that. It's fine. We don't have to do that right now. Okay, so yeah, so this is somebody who at least one of you has known for a while.
And I know you and I had discussed at one point that like I've been supplying them with essentially beauty products.
Mm-hmm.
And so that could be one of our ins.
Yeah, that could be one of them. Barbara probably also knows them, at least superficially, because of some family ties. But she's not here. So, all right. So we've got this person, Iramina. I'm gonna say when we're doing setup things and asking for favors, it's probably going to be limited to like one per friend per job, just because there's only so much certain people can do. And we'll do that for the factions as well. Like if you're going to go to a faction, like ask them for something, like you can ask them for a specific kind of help, like one specific action, something like that they can do for you, just so we don't get too into the weeds with that stuff. And then also you don't end up with a bunch of other people doing all of your work for you and you guys with nothing to do.
What?
So yeah, so our setup actions here. So you're going to contact Iramina, your noble friend who I'll work out faction stuff for this week and get that in there, but that's not important right now. So you want to rely on her to get rid of Vinny?
Yes, and if possible, somehow position Fancy Lad Logan as the suitable replacement.
Okay. So we'll do that. You want to... Okay, so this is anything else going to have to happen before the day of? Or I guess that could
Yes.
happen on the day of too. But anything
Gemma's
needs to happen
gonna-
before the festival gets underway.
Gemma's gonna have to talk to Mylara about info on Vinny if we do need that, if our noble friend doesn't know, food that Rorik likes, and how many guards they think he'll have day of, just to get a better picture.
Okay. So I'll take those as setup. Anything else needs to happen before the festival?
Just costume changes.
Bron takes Helsing her walkies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll do the setup actions and then we'll engage. So we can do that really quick. I don't think that's going to take a lot of like talking or anything like that. Who's going where? So Jemma is going to deal with Mylara and the Red Sashes to see if they know anything else about Rorik. And Logan, you want to deal with Iramina?
Yeah, that's probably as much socializing as Logan's going to do, and then he's going to spend the rest of the prep time preparing the poison and the bomb and all that stuff.
Let's do some prep rolls then for this stuff. So we'll start with Logan.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna have you play out every time you ask Iramina for a favor in like a long drawn out conversation. You guys are friends. She'll, for you guys, she'll do a lot. She might ask for some stuff in return. I
mean, I probably come with, the latest delivery of the beauty product this time.
I think she's very glad to see you. So you bring the delivery to her, and while you're there, how much information do you give her about this?
So she is aware that we are an assassin crew, right?
Yeah, she's aware.
Yep.
I think she doesn't. She's a fancy lady, so I think the word probably never crosses her lips, but she knows what you guys do.
Yes. Basically just saying there is a particular gentleman of the evening that we need occupied during Moontide, and give the name and what we know, and just say, because it sounds like maybe Moontide is a bit lowbrow for her. I don't know if other nobles attend it.
Probably not typically.
Yep, and so being like, whatever. I imagine the nobles probably have like a fancy Moontide that they host, and so she secures his services for entertainment.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna have you roll something. The question is what?
Yeah, because I don't really have any persuasion skills.
Yeah, well, because I'm gonna give you the bonus dice because you know her. So just go ahead and roll. Just roll 2. So I'm gonna give you 2 bonus dice for the thing. So we'll call this like a sway or a consort. I think consort is like with connections. So.
Yeah. Okay, so consort. Yeah. Controlled, presumably.
Yeah.
Controlled. Standard.
Yeah, this is more about kind of figuring out how much she can do in the time she's given.
And you said 2 bonus dice total?
Yeah.
That's a 6.
Okay. We've done it. So yeah, she kind of hears you out. Says, she doesn't ask too many questions. This time around, just kind of probably is busy sort of preparing for whatever she's gonna get up to at her own Moontide scenario.
If need be, just say, this Vinny will get in the way of my work, which would get in the way of me supplying the product.
She's just kind of say no more. And she will get to work on that. So you can assume, based on the bonus roll, that's going to work out. She seems to think it won't be a problem. So and I think when you say Vinny's name, I think you can kind of see like a little glimmer of recognition. Like she thinks she knows who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she'll get to work on that. Setup number 1, check, done. Excellent. Okay. So the other setup, sorry, I have my window open because it's hot in here and there's like a dog outside. What are you doing, buddy? Jemma, you head back to Triss's shop to call in a conversation with my Lara. This time around, you hand over the card, and this time around, my Lara herself does not appear, but after Triss leaves the shop for a few minutes, kind of leaving you sitting there, and brings back with her one of the figures that you're probably pretty good at recognizing people, even with like partial face covering and stuff. So it brings back sort of a taller, younger man. Again, this red fabric kind of covering the bottom half of his face, sword at his hip, and he comes into the shop, walks into the back room, kind of leans up against the wall and, sorry, boss couldn't make it. What do you need?
I just need a couple things before we I've finished what I'm doing. Do you know anything about Rorik's personal desires as far as it comes to consumption? Food, beverages, that sort of thing.
I'm just gonna have you roll a general sway. See how much he knows.
It's a 5.
Okay, so that's a partial. And again, yeah, not too much danger. It's just more about how much he can give you. I mean, I think he admits like he doesn't know Rorik personally, but it is pretty common knowledge with the gangs, at least, that he can sort of tell you that Rorik makes a lot of money, spends it very quickly. Loves
don't know anything about that.
Loves food in general, loves to drink, especially loves to try sort of new concoctions of things. He always he employs bartenders that are at least in their public establishments that are sort of a little on the eccentric side, and will sort of like just try new things and mix things and new recipes all the time. So he's that's sort of his food and drink proclivity. Right. So I think he doesn't know anything specific, but knows that he's sort of an all-around kind of guy.
Right. All right. And how about, do you know how many guards he's going to have at this sort of event?
He will tell you. They don't have a number nailed down, again, because that's information that he's going to keep kind of close to the vest. He usually travels with at least 2 of his officers to public events, and then pretty quickly gets annoyed with them following him around. Is sort of the general consensus. So at least a couple.
All right. I think that's all I needed, right, guys?
I think so, in terms of what we were expecting the red sashes to be able to provide.
All right. And they gave me a red sash, right?
Yes. Okay. He will bid you farewell. All right. Is there any other setup that needs to happen?
I mean, Logan is prepping the poisons and devices and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so Logan,
we need to set up Logan as a fancy lad, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that'll probably happen the day of. You start getting disguises and poisons and things together, and the rest of the plan will go down either right before the festival or during it. But I think that's a good place to call it. And we'll start out next time with a murder. We'll start out with our engagement roll next time, to see sort of what footing you guys start on. And figure out what I plan.
So who's proposing?
Good job, everybody. Let's do our advancement stuff. Nobody did a desperate action today, right? Nothing Nothing terribly desperate happened. Okay. So at the end of the session, review the. Why am I music so loud all of a sudden? At the end of the session, review the XP triggers on your character sheet. For each one, mark 1 XP if they happened at all, or 2 XP if it happened a lot. So the first one is your playbook specific trigger. I don't know if you guys want to talk. I don't remember what those are. But...
Address the challenge with technical skill or mayhem, and I would say dosing the bouncer with drugs counts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anybody else?
Mine is you addressed a challenge with tracking or violence. I don't think I did either of those.
And mine is addressing a challenge with deception or influence. I didn't tell the truth. I don't know.
Hard to
I
say.
think so, yeah.
A lot of this is going to come up during the score, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else you got. You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Your character's beliefs and drives are yours to define session to session. Anybody feel like they took a particular turn because of their character's beliefs?
Yeah, not blowing up innocence is a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big part of the planning for Jemma.
Advocating
maybe
for blowing up innocence. I don't know.
Relating to Mylara as an outsider. Would that count as one?
Sure.
I guess, I don't know if this would count, but Logan being like, hey, even though I have 0 skills in deception, I am still willing to be the bait here to get the job done.
Yeah, I would say so. That's sort of a drive.
Mm-hmm.
Bronson? Bronathan?
I mean, I feel like generally a lot of Bron's sort of law enforcement background came out as more than he has talked so far. So,
Yeah, that's true.
That planning, like an operation and stuff, goes back a lot to his days as an inspector. So
yeah, he did kind of take point a little bit.
yeah,
I like that.
I think that's sort of his wheelhouse.
Yeah, so you guys mark an XP for those. Nobody struggled with a vice. Nobody has any trauma yet. We'll get to that. Don't worry about it. Okay, so that's the character stuff. So you can add those either to any attribute track or your playbook track as a whole.
So we get to
and-
choose whether we
Yes.
put it on an attribute or a playbook.
Yeah, it can be on whatever track you want.
Oh, okay.
The only ones that have to be on a specific track are the desperate actions one. So if you roll a desperate action, whether or not you succeed, you mark an XP in that specific attribute. So like for the example is like if you roll a desperate skirmish, you would mark an XP in prowess.
Okay. And playbook advancement, when we fill it, we get a new special ability from our playbook. Is that the?
I believe so. This just says when you fill an XP track, clear all the marks and take an advance. I'll look it up in the book. But yeah, you get a new move with the attribute ones. You can up those in a particular way. Let me put the crew sheet. Crew time. Okay, review the crew XP triggers. What is the assassin XP trigger?
Execute a successful accident, disappearance, murder, or ransom operation.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Contend with challenges above your current station.
Dealing with the red sashes is
Yeah,
bit of that.
they are definitely above your pay grade a little bit.
bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one.
We're getting close to that, I
Yeah,
think.
okay.
Yep.
Reputation for
That's about to come up, I think. Let's see.
Express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or central nature of the crew.
I mean, I feel like some of that kind of came out in planning of
Yeah.
what kind of team are we here?
Yeah, I mean, I think the conflict between like how each of us would want to approach this job came out.
Okay. So that's
Okay.
2 XP.
Get it.
I'll go ahead and mark those down. We need 4 more to advance the crew.
Excellent. Coming up on that. Okay. I think that's
And we will probably get
that's all of them.
all 4 next time.
I would be shocked if you didn't get at least 4 next time. Yeah, so that's it. I don't know how you guys are doing on XP. Probably not as close as the crew is to advancing because we've mostly been in the planning stage, but
So far I've only been putting them in the playbook tracker. We'll see if that's a viable strategy or if I should be doling them out to have some skills and some other
yeah,
things.
I'll post the advancement stuff in the chat just so you guys have a quick reference for how that works since we're coming up on at least the crew advancing probably next time. Yeah, I mean kind of go through that and parse it out, see how it works. It's exciting. Anything else end of session wise we need to do before we go away?
I think so.
Okay. Well, in that case, thanks everybody for playing today. We're getting the hang of it a little bit, I think. At least the main stuff. We'll start putting down progress clocks and things as we move along, but haven't really needed them so far, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm excited to get into the score stuff next time. And thanks everybody in chat for hanging out with us being here. We'll be back next week for another episode of this, plus one other cast member and minus another one. Because LB will not be here unfortunately next week. But unless something drastic changes in our schedules, we'll be back next week. Hopefully my computer freaking holds together and all the pieces continue to work. That would just be swell. In the meantime, we got a couple of other streams coming your way before we're gone at the end of the week. On Monday, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, you can join us for the Queer Chronicles of the Strixhaven Quartet. That's our new D&D show that I'm running. It's gonna be really fun. Some new faces, some returning faces that haven't been on the channel in a little while, so very excited about that. Come join us for some Dungeons and Dragons. That's 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, also at 8 o'clock Eastern, for Tabletop Tuesdays, most likely with the Squire Squad for masks. But if something changes, we have some missing cast, then we'll let you guys know. Something will be happening, and it'll be a great time, so you should show up for it because it's awesome. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we will be dark because some of us are traveling and others are having people come into town. But we'll be back around on Sunday for not for more murder because you haven't done any murder yet. But for a murder. This time, for real, we're going to do a murder.
Baby's first murder.
Baby's first murder. It'll only be like the 3rd session, so I feel like that's pretty good as far as murders go. And then tonight, right after this at 8:30, you can join me and Alex and LB over on twitch.tv/LBHack'emUp for some masks for Heroes in Training with our good channel friends Rachel and Tanya. Anything else before we go away? All right, well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks for playing with me today. We will see you next week, but until then, good game and good night, Internet.